Imagine a 72-year-old woman named Mabel standing in the middle of a bustling pottery studio for the very first time, her hands trembling as she touches the cold, spinning wheel. She had spent decades as a school teacher, surrounded by chalkboards and lesson plans, never once imagining she'd be molding clay into art. But here she was, determined to learn something completely new. Mabel faced a mountain of obstacles: arthritis that made her fingers stiff, a mind used to structure rather than creativity, and the quiet judgment from others who whispered, "Isn't she too old for this?" Yet, Mabel didn't let these barriers define her journey. Instead, she embraced them. She adjusted her technique, using soft grips and gentle movements to accommodate her arthritis, turning what seemed like a limitation into a unique style that added character to her pieces. She scheduled her classes in small, manageable sessions, giving her mind time to absorb and adapt to this unfamiliar world. Most importantly, Mabel found a community in the studio, a group of diverse artists who valued her perspective and cheered her progress. As weeks turned into months, the transformation was striking. Her first wobbly bowl became a smooth vase, then a delicate sculpture. Each creation carried the story of her resilience, patience, and willingness to start anew. Mabel's journey wasn't just about learning pottery. It was a vivid reminder that growth doesn't have an expiration date. For anyone watching this, take this away. Break down your big leap into small, achievable steps. Adapt your approach to fit your unique challenges instead of fighting against them. And seek out a community that uplifts you, because no journey is meant to be walked alone. Mabel's story is proof that starting late isn't falling behind. It's redefining your path with courage and creativity. So what's the new thing you're waiting to try? But let's delve deeper into Mabel's story, because it is not just a simple narrative of picking up a hobby late in life. It is a rich tapestry of emotions, challenges, small victories, and profound personal growth. When Mabel first stepped into the pottery studio, the unfamiliar sounds and smells were overwhelming. The clatter of tools, the spinning wheels humming, the earthy scent of wet clay. It was a sensory overload compared to the quiet, predictable environment of a classroom. Her hands, which once held chalk to write lessons, now had to learn to coax shapes from a lump of clay. The physical challenge was immense. Arthritis made her fingers ache and stiffen, especially in the mornings when the studio opened. She often found herself frustrated, her hands not responding as smoothly as she wished. Yet, each time she felt the sting of pain or the discouragement of a failed attempt, she reminded herself of why she was there. Not to be perfect, but to learn, to experience, to grow. Mabel's mindset was one of curiosity and patience. Unlike many who might rush through lessons, she took her time, savoring each moment of discovery. She learned to listen to her body, to take breaks when needed, and to modify her movements so that her arthritis did not hold her back. This approach turned into an unexpected strength. Her slower, deliberate technique led her to develop a style that was uniquely hers, pieces with gentle curves and subtle imperfections that told a story of a journey marked by perseverance rather than haste. The psychological shift was equally significant. Mabel had spent her life in a profession where knowledge was imparted and control was key. Pottery demanded surrender to the unpredictability of the medium. Clay could be stubborn. It could collapse or warp with the slightest misstep. For someone used to order and certainty, this was a profound challenge. But with encouragement from her instructors and peers, Mabel began to embrace the unknown. She found joy in the process rather than the product. She learned that mistakes were not failures, but part of the creative dialogue between artist and material. The social aspect of the studio became a vital part of Mabel's experience. She connected with people of all ages, backgrounds, and skill levels. There were young students exploring pottery for the first time, seasoned artists who had been shaping clay for decades, and others like Mabel who were rediscovering passions later in life. This community provided support and inspiration. They celebrated each other's successes and offered gentle encouragement during setbacks. For Mabel, this sense of belonging was transformative. It reminded her that learning and growth are lifelong pursuits, and that it's never too late to find a new family or a new purpose. Over time, Mabel's creations evolved. Her first attempts were humble, wobbly bowls and uneven cups, but each one was a milestone. She photographed her progress, keeping a visual diary of her journey. As her confidence grew, so did the complexity of her work. She experimented with glazes, textures, and forms. Her pieces began to reflect not only her technical skills, but her personality, warm, thoughtful, and resilient. The studio held exhibitions, and Mabel proudly displayed her work alongside others. She received compliments and constructive feedback, which further fueled her passion. Beyond the technical skills, pottery became a metaphor for Mabel's life philosophy. Just as clay could be reshaped and refined, so could her own outlook and identity. She realized that age was not a limitation, but an asset, bringing wisdom, patience, and a depth of experience to her art. Her story challenged societal notions about aging and creativity. It inspired those around her to reconsider their own barriers and to embrace the possibility of new beginnings at any stage of life. Mabel's journey also had ripple effects on her personal relationships. Friends and family saw a new vitality in her. She shared her pottery pieces as gifts, each one imbued with meaning and love. Her grandchildren visited the studio, curious about the art and proud of their grandmother's achievements. Mabel's story became a source of encouragement for them, teaching that learning and growth are lifelong adventures. In reflecting on Mabel's path, it's clear that her success was not just about mastering pottery techniques. It was about mindset, adaptability, and community. She showed that breaking down a daunting goal into manageable steps makes the process less intimidating and more rewarding. By adapting her approach to accommodate her physical challenges, she turned potential setbacks into creative opportunities. And by seeking out and embracing a supportive community, she found motivation and joy that sustained her journey. For anyone feeling hesitant about starting something new, whether it's a hobby, a career change, or a personal goal, Mabel's story offers valuable lessons. It reminds us that the fears and doubts we have about our abilities or our age are often the biggest obstacles. When we choose to face those fears with courage and an open heart, we unlock potential we never imagined. Growth is not a race, it's a continuous, evolving process. So what is the new thing you're waiting to try? What passion or dream have you put on hold because you think it's too late or too difficult? Take a moment to imagine yourself in Mabel's shoes. Feel the clay between your fingers, the warmth of the studio community around you, and the satisfaction of creating something with your own hands. Remember that every expert was once a beginner, and every journey starts with a single step. Embrace your challenges, adapt your approach, seek out support, and most importantly, be patient with yourself. Your new beginning is waiting, and like Mabel, you have the strength and creativity to redefine your path at any age.